Good evening and welcome to the KUSI News at 6:30. I'm John Dupree.
And I'm Sandra Moss. Thank you for joining us tonight. Big news in sports today with the suspension of 13 Major League Baseball players, including New York Yankee Alex Rodriguez. 12 of the players were suspended after an investigation into Biogenesis, an anti-aging clinic in Miami accused of providing athletes with performance-enhancing drugs. They will begin serving their 50-game suspensions immediately, but A-Rod, who got the harshest punishment, will be suspended through the end of the 2014 season. He won't begin serving his suspension until the completion of his appeal.
It's apparent today there are plenty of Major League Baseball players who turn to performance-enhancing substances, caving into the pressure to compete.
So what type of pressure is falling on our college and high school athletes? You can only imagine. Joining us tonight is SDSU sports professor Jim Lackritz. Thank you for joining us tonight, Professor. And let me begin by asking you, with the pressure to compete on high school and college levels, which we all know is enormous, what do you advise coaches and young athletes to do?
Well, my first advice would be to play the sport because you enjoy it. I realize that people have incredibly high aspirations and want to be professional athletes, but because such a small percentage of people make it, just play because you enjoy it and do the best you can.
We who watch and follow and are fans of professional sports have known for years that they're using. What about amongst the lower ranks? Kids in college and kids in high school, are they becoming more popular, these substances?
Unfortunately, it is, because these kids end up talking to other people that went to their high school or other athletes they associate with, and unfortunately they're finding out that that almost everybody's using them these days.
How do you coach these kids out of it?
If I knew that answer, I'd probably make a lot of money as a consultant. I think you just do the best you can. Try to work with the parents and try to maybe only work with kids that are willing to play the right way and play by the rules.
And you know, I think that the line is really blurred too, because you go into any health food store these days, or even a sporting goods store, and you can see at the checkout line all these little packets with gel packs or whatever to give you the extra edge. And maybe they're not banned, but certainly everybody's trying to do what they can to just get that little extra something.
And you're absolutely right, and the problem is you don't really know what's in some of those gel packs and things like that, in spite of what they say. Even if they can say perfectly legal and they tell you all the substances that are in there, you really don't know for sure unless it's an FDA approved and tested type of supplement.
Is the problem perhaps, or at least part of the problem, Professor, that the penalties aren't harsh enough? Because obviously players continue to use knowing that there's a chance they can get caught.
Sure, I totally agree with that. I think the penalties need to be worse, because if I can find something that's going to make me bigger, faster, stronger, hit better, hit more home runs, and that's the difference between a $10 to $20 million salary and maybe a couple $1 million salary, or not even being able to stay in the major leagues. And some doctor tells me that they can help me without my being caught. That's a chance probably that a lot of athletes are willing to take.
Well, let's hope that with Major League Baseball kind of clamping down on some of these star athletes, it will the word will make a difference when it comes to our student athletes. Professor, thank you very much for your comments tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
All right, folks, a Rancho Bernardo man.